We help parents raise their kids to be Christ followers. I'm Pastor Tony, and today's topic is how obedience is a main factor in a child's education. When you get to the preschool years, your child is able to learn so much more than before. You no longer have to do everything for them, and it's time to start really thinking about their education. And one of the key factors with education is something parents don't often consider. There is a real connection with education and obedience. Before I was a principal and an administrator, I was a classroom teacher. And I saw very early just how important it was for a child to be obedient. Obedience wasn't just for classroom management. Obedience was not to make my job easier. Now, it does benefit the child if a teacher's focus is on education and not on behavior. There is an important way that obedience affects the student directly. There are children who may struggle with other educational challenges other than obedience, but it's very important for us to deal with the biblical need for a child to obey and make sure before we look to some other situation that we as parents are training our children to obey. We want you to understand the impact of obedience on education. So think about the learning process and how it works. Often, to teach a new skill, a teacher first builds on what the child already knows. She does it by teaching the next steps in the right order. That applies to reading, writing, math, or whatever. The teacher does it with them. Then the child repeats those right steps in the right order. If the child listens to how the teacher does those steps and repeats those steps in the right order, then she increases her chances of success with the new information. When a teacher assigns homework, the child can practice the steps she learned that day. After enough practice, those steps become second nature. Then, when there is a test, the student easily does well because they repeated them over and over in the right order. If a child is being trained at home to listen to steps and obey them, their chances of success in the classroom increase greatly. A child that struggles to listen will struggle to repeat what has been taught. A child that struggles to obey may attempt shortcuts or refuse to get their work done. And what seems very small right now at this point in life can become even greater as a challenge as the child gets older and takes on even more difficult subject matter. That's just another reason why your child must listen, respond, and obey. Listen, respond, and obey. Live this value yourself. Train your child to do this and discipline them on a consistent basis. It will increase their educational success. God uses your desire to raise your kid right to get to your heart. Thanks for listening to me. Now take a moment and let him speak to you.